Hey, everybody. Anybody there? Test one, two. Test one, two. Just going live here for, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 minutes. If anybody wants to talk about charts or has any questions about strategy, their strategies, my strategies, any type of options or stock type strategies. Um, just going to be going over some stuff, not long, just making sure everything is still intact and working. Planning an event sooner or later, so I want to make sure everything is still functioning. Hey Arthur, how you doing, man? QQQs. Hey Shark, how you doing? Just looking at the major indexes real quick. I mean, we're just off to the races here. Every day is another new high. I mean, IWM had a little bit of a stumbling block today. It couldn't really make a new high. Still in new high territory area, so it's threatening. But three gap ups. Um, to me, is ready for a pullback on pretty low to average volume. So definitely new buying isn't really coming in my opinion. Just gapping on geopolitical and news events. Again, nothing significant to warrant extra volume. So that's a concern. Unlike over here, we had a big increase in volume on this red day, and then we spent maybe 2 weeks inside of that candle while market was trying to figure itself out. You would think if the market is saying, "All right, I got my balls on the table, I want to go higher," it's going to do it with what? Strength and power, right? Power. Where do you get power from? You get power from volume, and I don't see any high volume here. But again, it could come in tomorrow, but tomorrow would be the fourth day up on an extended move. I don't know. I'm positioned for a pullback. Bought put spreads on the Qs today at the end of the day. So definitely looking for a pullback. Gave it 30 days, and I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to close those for profits. Even if it's 50%, 30%, whatever it is, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to close it for profits. Um, but with that said, we'll see. We'll see. We never know what we're going to get. But this is the SPY we're looking at. But I bought them on the Qs, only because the Qs are a little bit more exaggerated to the upside. Although today the Qs did have a little bit of extra volume. So, to the benefit of the QQQ, that one is up on a little bit of extra volume. But again, nothing to write home about. You would think if we're breaking out with, like gangbusters, everybody's piling in, you'd see a big volume day. Not there. So with what, 3 days to go in the week, I'm thinking we're going to have at least 1 or 2 days pullback. Probably, trying to get back to this, blue line, which is the 8 EMA, maybe even the trend line. We'll see. But, I'm not saying we're crashing. I'm just saying definitely a little long in the tooth. So I faded it. But things are just not everything is like rosy out there, right? I mean, Google. Well, Google is up. Yeah. What was it? What was I looking at? Maybe Microsoft? Not Microsoft. Amazon? Oh, well, as Amazon that was taking a beating, but even Amazon has bounced back now. Yeah, I mean, look, these stocks are up. Meta, yeah. I mean, they're all off of their real recent swing lows. Meta's back over the 50 day. What's Apple doing? Yeah, Apple's the strongest one that we're looking at right here so far. I mean, MSTR is in the shitter and heading lower. So I was short here with put debit spreads and call credit spreads. Okay, I let it go and play with the moving averages, and then it collapsed. So got out of those on this move down here, and now it really hasn't gone anywhere since. It looks like it's heading lower. MSTR, the proxy for Bitcoin. IBIT looks a little bit better, but not much. I mean, Bitcoin is not looking too healthy, really. And from what I understand now, AVGO, this monster of a semiconductor, has replaced Tesla in the Mag 7s. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I read. They took Tesla out. Well, I can't see them taking Tesla out, but this is what I understand is that AVGO took its place. I mean, AVGO is an animal, but Tesla is also looking real strong here. But again, these are all up on relatively low ass volume. I mean, yeah, things can drift higher on low volume, but what happens when we have a down day and some of those longs want to take profits or get scared out? So we could have a big volume candle coming sooner or later. That's going to be the red one, and then wipe out some of this move here. But just a lot of stocks. I mean, all semiconductor. If you're a semiconductor stock, MU, Qualcomm, I mean, it's kind of retarded, right? Every semiconductor stock is just balls, straight up, going straight up. It's just they can't keep going. But until it stops, I guess got to be long them. SMCI, there was another one, Marvell. Yeah, Marvell is not as strong as the other ones. Netflix took a real bad hit on its earnings, and it's just trying to maybe find a little tradable bounce here. But Netflix got creamed 1, 2, 3, 4 red days after earnings. Yeah, 4. Yeah, 4. And then today's the turnaround day. A little bit of a turnaround, not much, but low volume. I do think Netflix is going to maybe bounce a little bit. We're in Netflix from the earnings trade. But some stocks are definitely getting obliterated. I mean, look at this thing today. This thing, B Energy. So B Energy closed at 113. All right. And in the after hours, it is up to 135. Hit 139.77. And now it's 135. So this thing made an animalistic move, as you can see here. And this is you would think this is a semiconductor. It's not. It's it's obviously in the Bloom Energy. It's in the energy area. What do? They manufacture, sell, and install solid oxide fuel systems for power generation in the U.S. So I guess they're going to have something to do maybe with. Okay, no. I was thinking, yeah, data centers right here. So anything data center, if you got data center in your description, straight up. But just making some crazy moves, some of these stocks. And on the flip side of it all, gold and silver look like they've run their course for now. I mean, if anyone long up in here is just waiting and hoping to get out when it gets there. So got a lot of overhead resistance. I don't see this going up to new highs anytime soon. Maybe after the new year. Silver too. Silver taking a beating. I mean, this is a broken chart. If this was a chart, if this was a chart for Pepsi or Coca-Cola or anything you want, Apple, anything else, you'd say, man, that thing is busted, right? So silver and gold pretty much busted. Although silver found its support at the 61.8 Fibonacci level. So silver might try to put up a stand here and turn around, head back up. But gold maybe too, but gold, if they've stopped buying from the central banks across the nation, other countries, then all of the traders that were riding their coattails up in here, they're holding on for dear life, and they're gonna get washed out if it breaks below the 61 here too. I didn't realize that actually got held up at the 61.82. So it's bullish, still bullish. The 61.8 is considered a bullish level to hold, but if it breaks it, then we're going to probably see a cascade down to the 50-day. I don't think we're going to see the 200-day. That would be breaking a whole lot of support over here. Although as time goes on, this 200 is going to trickle higher and higher up to the left, up to upper right. So it could get to the 200-day in time. I don't see it falling straight down to the 200-day, but it could get to the 200-day in time, maybe run into next year. Dell, Dell's another strong one. Dell is, I got to be honest. These are stocks that, Qualcomm, Dell. Google wasn't around in 2000, but Qualcomm, Dell. I think ABGO may have been around, but it was called something different at the time. These stocks have been around for Microsoft. They've been around forever, and now they're just making crazy new highs like they did back in the bubble. Back then, these were the stocks that were riding the bubble up. But what else I want to look at? Tesla, Netflix, MicroStrategy, PLTR is trying. It's trying for 200. Not there yet. Trying. Looking better though. Looking good. I know some people that have Palantir from like $6 and $7, believe it or not, and they're still holding some shares, so they want to see it just keep going. But Palantir is definitely struggling to break out of this pattern, but it's gotten above now, so it's actually it's actually got a couple of day gaps up like the Qs and the SPYs, but it's got a little bit more of a basing action going on. So this one could keep going. Whereas I think the Qs and SPY are going to turn around, and by the end of the week, maybe even tomorrow, we'll see. We got tomorrow's Fed day, FOMC. So anything's possible. I don't think he's going to say anything. Well, I think he's going to cut like he's supposed to cut, but I don't know if he's going to speak favorably looking forward. We know he doesn't like the administration, so I don't know if he's going to want to be the most amicable or whatever you call that when he, the most friendly with his forward-looking guidance and information. He might want to leave that for the guesswork to go on, but he's probably going to cut, and then that's already priced in to a lot of stocks. Question is what does he, does he talk about inflation? I know a lot of things that I kind of watch, or some of the things that people watch, have come down. Gasoline has come down. Eggs notably have come down. Milk. A lot of the things that people need to buy have come down. Don't know. Meat is up. Beef is up though. So, if you're buying meat, chopped meat for hamburgers or steak and stuff, that's not down at all. I think, coffee is through the roof, right? So coffee prices are up, but coffee's not one of those necessity type things. Although it would be considered a necessity for some people, sure. Wake up, coffee, get going to work. But as far as, eggs, milk, bread, I don't know how bread prices are doing, but I know, gasoline is down. Not down like he wants it, but it's down. Eggs are down. A lot of other things are down. I tell you, restaurants are still busy. I don't know how people. I don't know how they keep saying that we're in tough times, and and these every time I pass a restaurant parking lot, it's full. Sometimes a wait for a lot for a table if you want to even want you want to go out. And these are all the restaurants. So it's kind of crazy how economy's just running good, but yet the government shut down and we're talking about a lot of government employees getting laid off, and you know we'll see, some of that stuff will start trickling in the next few economic reports. I just we can't really we can't forget about this day, even though the reasons for it are gone. It showed, in my opinion, it showed how delicate we are on anything that might sound questionable with agreements with other countries, especially China. And I know we're doing this deal right now with China. We're talking about a trade agreement with China, maybe even with some rare earth exchanges and all that kind of stuff. But I think from recent history's experience, I think we can tell that it's probably just we're on a short train, on a short riding train that's going to have a stops along the way, and we're going to have tit for tat going on with China, because China doesn't play nice, and Trump is, I'm not getting political, but Trump can play nice, and he doesn't, and then he can flip the script. So both of them are kind of like how they wake up one day is going to be how we go with this whole thing. So I don't doubt that this agreement is temporary for now. So again, and that was what this red day was, I think. So I'm just saying, on anything that could come around that could be a little bit eerie for the market, you saw what happened. People that, traders and trading houses, they sold first and asked questions later, and it took all this time to get the energy back to get going and new highs. And yeah, we're at new highs, loving it. A lot of stocks, things that I'm in, are doing well. Puts that I'm selling, or credit trades I have on, are doing good. But I definitely want to see some normal price action and trading in the market. This is not normal trading in the market. This is one direction, and yeah, it's a strong bull market. But a lot of guys out there, a lot of traders out there, don't know what a normal pullback looks like, or even a bear market. So just be careful with how you're loaded up. But yeah, so far, I mean, a lot of these bigger names just aren't, showing anything. Now, Microsoft has earnings tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow in the afternoon, we're going to find out. And look what it did today. It's already they're already buying into these things prior to earnings. So if they go up, that could affect how high it's going to go. And if it sells off, you have a lot of gap areas to fill down below with some of these names. What's another couple of stocks? Some of the retailing stuff, like Chewy, a great company. Everybody has pets pretty much, and you got to buy your pet food and toys and stuff somewhere. You buy them at Walmart, local pet stores, or Chewy, right? Chewy, a profitable company, doing fine, but yet the stock, if you're in retail, forget about it. You can post good numbers, and you get obliterated. Unlike though today, Wayfair. Wayfair posted their earnings, and this thing is up 25%, 23%. So, and the majority of their products are manufactured overseas in Asia, China. So, I just see, there's no rhyme and reason right now with what's going on. There's just no rhyme and reason. If you're a semiconductor, you're going to go up for sure. If you're a retailer, look at Deckers. I mean, come on. Uggs and Hoka's, popular brands, killing it out there in the stores. And Deck has great earnings. They beat on earnings and revenues, and they talk about tariffs, and the stock gets just annihilated. I don't get it. I mean, I would think by now the tariffs are priced in. what tariffs? I mean, what tariffs? Where are the Cambodia, Thailand, and some of these other places, Vietnam, where they manufacture a lot of clothing. I mean, if you look at your label on some of your clothes, you'd probably be surprised at where the hell it was made, right? But Cambodia, Thailand, I've seen Laos, and China for sure. Doesn't all though come from China, and we already made great agreements with some of the other Asian nations. So why is Deckers getting destroyed? And they keep talking about tariffs. I don't get it. I mean, Nike, their stuff is made in same area, Asia. They're not getting destroyed. They're not doing great, but they're not getting destroyed. I don't know where Lulu's products are made, but they have been just beaten the hell down. I don't know. I guess some company out there is eating their lunch. Somebody's making, the Lulu spandex cheaper and good quality. That's just taking money right out of Lulu's pockets. Although I'm sure Lulu does manufacture over in that area too, in Asia, to some degree. Elf, another one that was destroyed at one point, has now risen again, and it's back at prior levels. So that one's found a way to avoid the T word, tariffs. Estee Lauder, which was beaten down as well on tariffs. It looks like tariffs aren't a problem for Estee Lauder. So again, it's a really bifurcated, weird market. If you're in retail, you can do well with your earnings and have tariffs to be concerned about and get obliterated, or you they don't really affect you. I mean, look at this move on Wayfair. And I don't think Wayfair is even a stock that had a huge short float, which would cause that type of a ridiculous move. I'm going to check the short interest right now, but I mean, it's Wayfair. It's almost like that's not Walmart. It's the Walmart, one of the Walmarts of online furniture shopping and stuff. I mean, they sell a lot of different products, but I mean, they're almost in the same category as like a, forget the name of that place. It's a Swedish company. But they have, but this Swedish company I'm thinking about has actual brick and mortar stores. I forget the name of it. I think it's got I think it's a 4-letter name. It's a 4-letter word name for the company. Alexa, what's the name of that Swedish retailer? IKEA. That's it. Thank you, Andrew. That's it. IKEA. I knew it was 4 letters. And I knew it was something with an A.
Something I found on all special coupons.
Alexa, we got it. Thanks. Shut up. Yeah, no, it's thank you, Andrew. Yeah. IKEA. I mean, I don't even know. I used to have an IKEA about an hour away from me. I don't even know if they're still in business. I think you can order online. But anyway, that's what Wayfair kind of reminds me of. They have the eclectic type of stuff. And my computer's slow. Let me go over here. Welcome, Andrew. Are you a options trader? I know Arthur is, and I don't know if Shark. Are you an options trader? Or are you guys stock, futures? What do you guys trade? I'm just looking up Wayfair, their short interest. Yeah, so Wayfair. Oh wow. All right, I didn't know that. Yeah, Wayfair had a huge short interest, 20%. 19 million shares out of 103 million shares. So a lot were short. That's what it was. Damn, I wish I would have known that before they had earnings. Yeah. 20% short, huge. Great, Andrew. Now, Andrew, do you sell options or are you a buyer? Like, what do you prefer to do? I'm predominantly an options seller. So in my Discord, we mainly sell options, but we go long at times and usually finance it though with some sort of an options sell. All right, cool. Yeah, TJ's a good friend of mine. We used to do what's called technical Tuesdays, technicals with Uzi on Tuesdays, but he's gotten busier, and there's a lot of haters out there, and so the haters was started to get to him a little bit, so he took some time away from doing that. Oh yeah, good for you, Arthur. That's cool. Yeah, Wayfair is a huge move there. Definitely, I believe that. I'm sure somebody knew about that one, because I'm sure that their public relations side had known for at least a few weeks how good their numbers were going to be, and I'm sure the word trickled around, and then of course it wound up on some trading desks, and then of course unusual options activity shows up. Okay, a few leaps here and there. Yeah, leaps are good. Leaps are good. You can get creative with leaps as well. You can sell covered calls against leaps if you want. You just got to be careful on how close to the money you sell them, because you don't want to lose your leaps prematurely, because you might wind up actually losing on the whole trade if you have to use your leap, or if you get assigned, or if you get assigned on your short call, you're either going to have to buy the shares outright, which is a choice. That is a thing you can do, or exercise your leap, which you would really wouldn't want to do, because that's going to be expensive and you'll lose money on that unless you've already covered the cost difference. So, but yeah, leaps are good. What stock do you like to wheel? Like, what's your favorite wheeling stock? Everybody has their favorite, I think. Yeah, Wayfair had earnings. SoFi did well. And the stock shows it too. Looks like it's ready to now make another nice leg higher after basing for a few weeks. We sold puts today, and this is a nice looking candle right there. What else had earnings today? Yeah, so a funny story about LAC. I was assigned to LAC a long time ago, maybe a year ago, at $4. Yeah, I was assigned, over here when it dropped, $4. Sat in it, sold covered calls, thought I was going to be able to get out of it here. Nope, sold, kept going down, sold covered calls, and then boom. So my cost basis was nice and low, and this was real nice. I blew out of my shares, not on this first rocket up here or here. I got out on this move here. But yeah, this is a nice stock. Now the only thing is that this whole China rare earth agreement keeps stays up, holds up, I should say, and stays intact. Some of these rare earth stocks might have a problem for a while until there's another glitch in that rare earth agreement. I don't see the rare earth agreement sticking. Trump's not going to rely on China to be the good guy and open up, keep the doors open with the flow of things we need for defense and for infrastructure and all that stuff. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I mean, China. Let's be honest, right? I'm not trying to be racist against anyone Chinese or anything, but China, the country China does not like America, right? Just like Russia doesn't like America, but China wants to, screw America as much as they can. So they're not going to keep that door open up for rare earths, which is what we need, wide open for us to enjoy and feel nice and comfy and, like everything is good and, good in the world. So that'll end sooner or later, and then the talk will be back to rare earths. So I think you're good with LAC. I mean, just be careful, right? Because it does have a gap to fill down here, and that a lot of times, 90+% of times, these type of gaps, although it was on some strong volume. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to get closed. That would be all the way down to 3 and change, but it could make an attempt as it heads to these moving averages. I mean, if it gets to the 200-day moving average, it's going to be gap closed, but it's probably going to get to that 50-day. And then hopefully carve out some type of a, bottoming, curving, what I like to call a cup and handle maybe action. Look for that type of a pattern. Are you a pattern guy, Andrew? What do you use to find a trade to wheel these days? What are you using to make you feel that that's a good company that you'd like to get involved with wheeling? Hey everybody, I see there's a few new faces out there watching. If you want to join in on the chat, feel free. We're just talking about stocks, charts, what you like to trade. But LAC is good. It's a nice small stock. It's got an IV rank of 63. That's good. You want to be selling, whether it's covered calls or puts. You want to be selling them when you have a nice an IV rank. So that's pretty good. I think some of the other ones in that category is LITM. I know WWR is. I know UUUU is, I believe. I know USAR is. But you can see they're all in the same predicament. They had this monster run up. They had this monster run down. And then now we got to see what's going to be the bottom line. Did they crash and burn? Or did they start to now do some type of sideways price action and get back on track and hopefully, attack their previous levels? I mean, USAR was 40. It's cut in half. 44 actually, cut in half. I mean, all these have been cut in half. So it sucks if you're in them. This one hasn't been cut in half yet. UUUU. That was 27 down to 20. But some of the other ones have been a huge haircut. Black 10 to 5. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. There's, but you know what? At least you found out now. We don't want everybody to find out about this, right? Because then everybody will be doing what we do and then it won't work anymore. That's usually how that works. So at least you found out now. From your picture, you don't look old. So you should be good for the next 30, 40 years doing it. Just don't go all in on any one particular trade. I mean, that's all I can say with that. There's no all-ins. Right, so you got another 40 years. Come on, at least. You could do this until you're 80. I plan on doing it until I'm in the ground. So why not, right? It's a form of pleasure, right? It's fun. It's lucrative. Why would anyone want to stop? I mean, as long as you can have access to, and you can see. I mean, physically, you definitely have to be in good shape, right? So your eyes and hands and brain, you have to have functioning, and of course your body to get up and go every day. So I can see doing this 80, 90 years old. And there's Warren Buffett. Look at Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. I mean, they don't do this necessarily, but they're still active in it. So I mean, I know Munger died, but I mean, you can do it till you're definitely way, way old. So yeah, but it's great. It's a great business. But yeah, if everybody knew about it, I mean, it might be cool because you'd have more people to talk to about it, but then it wouldn't work like it works now. But yeah, just keep chugging away, selling premium. You see something that's long, you want to buy something as far as options. Nothing wrong with buying options. It's just not the only. It's not you're not going to make a living buying options. You could make a living selling options, but you can't make a living buying options unless you're one of the few select. And I'm trading 27. Actually, it's now 28 years. October hit 28 years. So I'm trading 28 years, and a good number of those years I did trade full-time options. I mean, I'm trading full-time for that long, but it's been a combination of stock, options, and such. But you can't make a living, let's say, trading unusual options activity alone, or just buying options, because they are a decaying asset. So if you don't get what you're looking for as far as a move in that time frame, and most options traders don't get out of those positions quickly. They kind of hold on to them, and then theta just eats it alive. So you say you're able to retire. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was blessed. I hit the ground running back in 1998. So yeah, I hit the ground running. It was a different environment. It was a lot of things were different, but the biggest difference was that we traded in decimals. So there weren't, I'm sorry, fractions. There weren't decimals. So right now everything is quoted in decimals. Like LAC is $5.80. Back in the day when I learned how to trade, this would be quoted as, like, let's say 5 3/4, which would be actually 5.75. So it wouldn't have been five. There was no 580 back then. There was 580. There was 575. There was maybe what's 575 and 575. 5 point. So five. Calculator, yeah. Yeah, so there'd be 575, and then there'd be, let's call it 5 and 7/8, right? 5 and 7/8 was the next tick up, and that would have been like about 591. But we didn't have decimals, so it was completely different. And then they switched, and then I had to relearn how to trade because everything looked different too. In the level two, I used to be a level two trader. So level two, I don't know if you know what level two is. Level two is when you can see the bid and the asks changing as the trades are going through. You could see what's going on with the buyers and the sellers, and the buyers and the sellers, and who's got the upper hand. And then it changes, the balance changes. It was like watching. It's like an arcade game. To be honest with you, it was like an arcade game. It really was. Depending on what trading platform you had, it looked like an arcade game. And I was never a big game player, but I was good at some arcade games, and I guess that helped. I would have to say it definitely helped because a lot of it's visual charts, and then watching the level two. Put it this way, even back then, they wanted you to start with 25,000, and if you didn't have 25,000, you couldn't day trade. So it's been a long time coming that they changed that to, like, I think they want to make it like $2,000 now. So that's going to be a big boost for the markets too. But yeah. So yeah, and back then too. What I'm trying to remember what the day trading buying power was. I think the day trading buying power was like 4-1, and overnight stuff was 2-1. But what we had back then, and you don't really have it now, but you have it in a different way, was not prop firms. They were sort of like prop firms, similar, I guess, where if you didn't have 25, you could put up whatever you had. Let's say you had 10,000. You could put up 10,000 into their money pool. And I don't know how they did it for some guys, but I don't know how they did it, but they would then bestow you X amount of buying power. Like, let's say they could give you 50,000 in buying power, or they could give you 100,000 in buying power. Or if they really liked you, or if you knew somebody, they could give you $500,000 in buying power, intraday day trading buying power on your 10 grand, depending on how much skill you had, who you knew, and how good you were. And you could day trade with 10 times your money, let's say, day trading. And boost your ability to make money. Yeah, you don't see that anymore. Now they have these prop firms where I don't even know how they work. I think you definitely have to put up some money. And the biggest thing though is they make money on your commission. So back then they were making money on the commissions from us, really, because we were paying $20 in or $25 in, and then 20 to $25 out. So imagine buying 1,000 shares of a stock, and we were day trading. So buying 1,000 shares, paying $20 to get in. So now you're $20 in the hole, and you're going to be $20 to get out. So you're $40 in the hole to start out your trade. So you had to make $40 to just break even, right? So think about that. That's how crazy it was. And we didn't have the speed of executions that you see now. There wasn't no press your button on your mouse and I shouldn't say that. Some of the firms had what's called a T1 connection, and that was the fastest that they had back then. But that doesn't even, that's probably what you have now in houses. But back then it was the fastest way to trade. But if you weren't trading, you had to trade really from an office like that had a T1. Because if you try trading from just like say like a regular business internet connection, you'd get your data would be off. Could be off by a minute, could be off by 30 seconds, which if you're day trading, that's a lot. If you're just selling, and back then there was, I'm sure they were doing it, but I never learned about put selling and option selling. Yeah, I knew about selling covered calls and stuff, but I made all my money day trading stocks and options, going long and going short. So now to be able to sell options for the last few years, 5 or so, it's a whole new game. It's a completely other side. But now think of it like this too, right? You can sell options with $5,000, $10,000, 15, 20, 25, but you can't really live off that. You can make extra money, side hustle money, even pay off maybe your mortgage with that type of thing, but you can't, let's say, live on it, right? But when you get up to 6 figures plus, 300, 400,000 and above, you can live on it. You can live off that if you know how to trade, and if you trade right and trade well, you can live off that. Depending on what your lifestyle is, how much your mortgage, how much your expenses are a month. If your expenses aren't that high, and you can make 6,000 to 8,000, 10,000 a month on a $300,000 account, $250,000 account, you'd have to be pushing the throttle down a little bit every month, but you can do it. And then along the way you hit a couple of home runs with some trades that you go long on, whether it's leaps or call options, put options. If you want to play a stock on the way down, you can make a good living. Again, you have to have good strategy set, good management skills. I posted on X the other day, anybody can press a button and get into a position, whether it's an option sell, premium sell, or a call buy, right? But it's how you manage that position after it's go time that makes the difference. Not all of my trades go easy or smooth, but 90+% of the time, 99, 98, 97% of the time, I'm going to use the management skills I've developed to get that trade to profitability. We were just stuck in gold, GLD, as it was ripping against us on the shorts call side. And we just exited it 3 days ago for profits, all over the way we managed it. So management's huge. So option selling alone doesn't mean you're going to make money and be able to live off it. You have to have skills. You have to have you really need to learn a lot of strategies. That's why there's a lot of guys posting on Twitter and wherever else, Instagram, whatever, that, I sell premium and I brought in $8,000 this month, or today I sold $3,000 worth of premium. Well, that's great, right? That doesn't mean you're going to keep all that. And if some of those trades go against you, if you only know how to sell cash secured puts, well, how are your management skills going to come into play? Because I might sell a cash secured put, and if it goes wildly against me, now I'm using management skills that involve spreads, iron condors, straddles, strangles. I mean, depending on what needs to be done at the time, a simple cash secured put sell might turn into either a big loss if you don't know how to manage it, or a win, even if it goes tremendously against you by the way you manage it. But anyway, I went off on a tangent there. Sorry. But yeah, the longer time you have in your chairs, guys, the more skills you hopefully pick up. Try not to be a one trick pony. Covered calls and cash secure puts are good, but that's like first base playing in baseball. That's first base. You got to know more to really survive the tougher times, because what happens when we go into a bear market and stocks are only going down? Like now they're only going up. Well, what about when they start to only go down? You sell a cash secured put, you're going to get run over. And if you're not comfortable selling the call side, what are you going to do? You can't buy stocks and sell covered calls unless you really want to get run over there too. So there's a lot to think about. This is a bull market. This makes everyone look good, smart, and makes, we're all making money. Everybody's making money. I know people that go out to a job every day with their screw gun in their hand, Makita gun, whatever you're going to call that, and work boots, and they're checking their phones on the job sites because they're making money too. They're buying Ethereum, they're buying Solana, they're buying you name it. They're making money too. Everybody's making money now. Hairdressers, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying, when everybody is getting in the pool and the water is warm and everybody's having a great time, you just have to say, who's left to really get into this party? So, just prepare for the worst and trade the market in front of you. But just for all intents and purposes, stay long some stuff so that you can, ride the wave higher, but be ready in case some turbulence hits. Here's another stock. I don't know how this one's even doing well. Roku. I mean, I have one, but I have a Roku little box for TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I know if I want to watch movies or something, I have a Roku. But other than that, and they sell them for cheap. Like, how is this company even still in business? I'm surprised they haven't been bought out yet, maybe by Walmart, because I think Roku has a huge agreement with Walmart. But like, I'm just saying, some retailers, like, this is a retailing company in some degree, because they sell Roku TVs, they sell Roku boxes, and this thing is holding up. Yet if you make clothes, like I said before, some of you that may have joined late, if you manufacture clothes like, A&F, you're in the doghouse. If you sell shoes, nice shoes, Uggs, Deckers, you're in the doghouse. But if you're Wayfair, online furniture, you're up 25% almost in a day. Interesting times. Walmart's even getting hit. I mean, it's not in the shit house, but it's falling from its highs, but coming right down to its 50 days. And they have earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. Dollar Tree. Remember, Dollar Tree was suffering for the longest time. I put a video out on this last year, December of last year. I put a video out that this is the time to buy this stock. Also DG, Dollar General, December of last year, right around here, to buy this stock. And then also FIVE, Five Below, again, right around December of last year, right around here. And now these dollar stores have done well. And they keep raising their prices. Everything in the dollar store now, Dollar Tree, is $1.50 or $5. They raised their prices on stuff. Anybody out there have any charts they want to look at quick? Anybody have any questions on their own positions that they're in? QBTS, some of these some of these, what do you call it? Quantum stocks. I don't know. This looks like a Head and Shoulders to me. This one already had its Head and Shoulders, and here it comes down. Boom. 1, 2, head, shoulder, shoulder. Boom, coming down. Probably going to head down to that 200-day moving average. It's being held up right now by this support. But a lot of these quantum stocks, which I do like still, but it's just right now they're in a downturn. I like quantum maybe for next year. I mean, I liked it this year, and we did well with some for sure in the Discord. We did well with some of these names. QBTS, Serve is robotics. We did good with Serve. We wrote it up here this way, and then a little bit here. RR Robotics, we killed it. We made money here and then here, and now it's breaking trend line. What else? That's robotics. That's quantum AI. What's that stock? Yeah, C3 AI. I'm surprised this one isn't higher. These days, if you're anything related though to AI, you're doing good. I mean, isn't Open Door? I believe this company is a company where it does like online house selling and all that, everything related to selling a house. And look at it's trading like it's a freaking AI name or a semi. Doesn't look bad here. Hey, Todd. I loved Lay's. We made money on Lay's. I loved Lay's, right? And then didn't they do an offering? I think they did an offering. Let me see the news quick. Yeah, they did. Wait, what'd they do? What'd they do? They did something. Could have sworn that they did an offering. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, I knew they did an offering. I think you even mentioned that they did an offering. And they built it. Yeah, they did. They built it in. Well, that's good. That's a good way to do it, right? If you're going to post something negative, build around it with something positive. That's how women like to do things, right? Your girl comes in, she says, "Well, I hit that. Bad news is this, good news is that." So anyway, yeah, I think it's got a little bit more to go before I want to get into this thing. I mean, maybe we were long. Maybe to sell some premium, we can do that. It's got. I don't know why the Ivy rank's not showing up. It has decent premiums. But I don't like it yet. Are you in it at this moment, Todd? I mean, I don't like today's candle, to be honest with you. Today's candle is funky on some volume. I want to see it go sideways a little bit more. It's got a decent look. I want to see if it's going to be able to get to that 50-day moving average. I know. Oh, okay. Right, that's right. You did that risk reversal. I'm sorry, I can't remember things any longer, man. I tell you. Yeah, that's right. You did the risk reversal. I mean, Oscar doesn't look bad. I just hate that there's a few guys on Twitter that all they do is post about Oscar. So I feel like I'm buying into their scam. I mean, it is a real company, though, so I really shouldn't say that. But, I mean, Oscar and Lemonade don't look bad. I've always liked Lemonade, and I do like Oscar's business model. It's been a little choppy. Another one that these guys like to just almost every day they grab. I mean, Grab has got like 4 billion shares outstanding. It takes a lot to move the needle when you have 4 billion shares. I mean, I don't know what, and actually there was no news on this move here. On this move here, when it went from like, I don't know, 4.95, so $5 to 6.62. I don't believe there was any news. Not even earnings. It ran up and now it's just been consolidating. I do think this is going to go one day, but 4 billion shares, I don't know. I mean, this does have a big presence over in, I forget the area, definitely Asia and Europe. But there's competition. They're not the only choice out there when you're looking to do. It's like, so Grab is like delivery services, even I think Ubering and stuff like that. I do think Grab will go one day. And I think I looked at this on the monthly one time a while back. I think the monthly looks real nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely got some history up to about 13 and change, and it looks like it's just carving its way through all this resistance over here. I mean, yeah, I mean, if it can get through 7, it could double. So I guess 7 would be the key level. I wish I wasn't in bull. I'm tired of this, looking at this thing already, this bull. I look at it every day and it doesn't go anywhere. And I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, I don't know. I know what they do, right? It's Webull, but the thing is that I know what they do. I don't see why it's going to go up. I don't know why this is going to go up. This stock, I mean, I don't use the platform. I tried it one time a while ago just to take a look at it. Didn't impress me at all unless they've made improvements. I know it's zero commission, but I'd rather pay money for trading and know I've got a great platform like we have with Thinkorswim. But I don't see anything about this that wants me in it. I'm in it, but I don't want to be in it. It may be a double bottom, but even then, it's got so much resistance over here. So much resistance that, yeah, earnings could give it some juice to get up and over some of this, but it's going to take a lot, and they don't charge commission. So how do they make money? I know they make money on order flow, but how are they making money? How are they beating up on Robinhood? They can't beat up on Robinhood. Well, I don't know how are they making money. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know that stuff. I just don't. I know one thing. I don't like the chart. And if it breaks these lows here, I'm out. I think. Yeah, 10. If it breaks 10, where's it going? Heck no. I don't know. Breaks 10, I think I'm out. Win, lose, or draw. You got $13 cash secure puts this Friday. Yeah, you'll be rolling them, I guess. You got a lot of them? You got 50 of them, Todd? Are you buying 5,000 shares of this thing one day? All right, I was close. 5. 55, same thing. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. But it sucks, right? It sucks. It sucks because you're going to have to roll it. You might, look, earnings better be good. If earnings are not good, it's going to break 10. Probably. If earnings are good, it's got a shot. 15, 16. Let me see what the short float is on Webull. Let's see. Take a guess. Guys, take a guess. Don't look. Don't ask Grok. Just take a guess. What's the short flow? Do you think it's a lot? Being where the price is right now at this level with all this nasty looking chart, what do you think the short float is big or small? What happened? I lost you guys. Oh, here it is. What happened here? Oh, okay. It is small. It is. It's only like 6 or 7%. So it isn't even like if they have good news or the short flow, the short interest is going to kick in and help us out. They're going to have to kill it and then really talk good going forward. Because I mean, who are they beating up on, really? I'm not trying to beat this thing to death on this conversation, but who are they beating up? What company are they taking customers from? I tried it. The platform didn't impress me. For anyone like with a lot of experience, like myself, didn't impress me. So I said, forget it. I'd rather spend money with Schwab than get free commissions and hate the platform. Yeah, the premium's okay. I agree. I think you'll be all right. This thing should be at 18 or 20 is where it should be. If it was eating market share from other players, and Schwab now getting into crypto that they announced not long ago is going to be bringing assets to Schwab, which never would have been coming that way. Schwab, they're late to the party, but Schwab will bring people over now with that. I'm sure some. Shark, did you attend my earnings webinar by any chance? I had an earnings webinar. Todd was there as well. Did you attend that? Because I see you're asking about an earnings play. What makes you think I trade earnings? Isn't that risky? Just kidding. You there? Are you still there, Shark? Well, let's take a look in case he went to the bathroom to get something to drink. So he's asking about BROS, Bros. Yeah, the most recent seminar. Yeah, okay, you missed it. So it's about an hour long. It's maybe longer than that, but the meat and potatoes are less than an hour. If you really want to go and watch it, you maybe you pick up a lot of stuff out of that webinar. But do you trade earnings? Are you an earnings trader? Let me ask you, Shark. What do you see in this chart? Are you a chart type of a person? What do you use to make a decision on a trade? Because you asked about maybe doing earnings on this. Do you look at this chart and see? Okay. I got you. Okay, that's good. Yeah, at least you get some information about the background, what they their earnings, their maybe their growth rates, their revenue projections and stuff. But with this stock, are you looking at the chart, saying, "Hey, I think I see something in this chart"? Okay, I got you. Okay, so their last earnings were over here. Okay, now it's price is about the same price. So from their last earnings, it went to 74. It went down to 48, 47. It's back right now, pretty much where it was on their previous earnings. And if we go back to the previous earnings before that, it's at the same price there. And then if we go back to their earnings here, it was a little bit higher. But then if we go to this earnings, it looks like it can't it can't really get a sustained move even after earnings. It makes a move, but then comes back. It made a move and came back. This one, it made a nice size move. It did. It gave it all back. So the pattern I see in this, as if I was analyzing this for earnings, is I might get a move, yes, up. And these most recent moves have been up. I might get a move up, but it's not an investment because it's going to come back down. So you're going to want to be nimble, right? Get in, get out. Well, what if they have an earnings, and here's another earnings that was up. So it seems they like to go up on earnings. But what if they go down? So you got a gap here. You got a gap here, right? Most gaps fill. So if this breaks down on this particular earnings report, right, it might try to fill that gap. Maybe not this earnings, maybe the next earnings, but this earnings, maybe it's not going to do so well because right off the top. So maybe you don't know, and maybe I don't say it enough. I probably do. Todd will tell you. I probably do. But I'm a technical analyst, so I look at the chart. So what's the biggest difference that I see right off the bat coming into this earnings? Now, Shark, this is going to cost you, right? Because this is sensitive. This is very expensive information I'm going to give you here. The biggest thing going into this earnings trade, into this earnings event for this company is this. All these prior earnings reports, what's different? And this is almost like a puzzle. That's what trading is, a technical analysis is sometimes. It's puzzles. What's the answer to this puzzle? What's different about this earnings time than these earnings times on the chart? Todd, you should get this. I think, Todd, you should be able to get this because you're a charter. Arthur would probably get this if he's still here. Because Shark, right? You could know their previous earnings upside down. You could know it like the back of your hand, right? You could know what they did in the past earnings, right? But that's what that is. That's just, it's in the past. They could not do well this quarter, and a lot of it has to do also with what they say. So they could have X amount of earnings, which are good or bad, but they can say this about the future next 3 months, 6 months, which could make or break what the earnings came out to be. So while I don't think that it's a bad thing to know what their earnings are previously, that's a good idea. It doesn't necessarily tell you what's going to happen now when they report their earnings in 8 days. I would have to think that these prior earnings reports, they reported good numbers. Because why else would the stock go up? So they have been reporting decent numbers, but what's the problem then? It goes up and comes back down, goes up and comes back down, goes up, comes back down. Why can't it get going, right? That's a concern. So I wouldn't. So I'm not telling you what I don't even trade this name pretty much, but I think there's better earnings trades out there. But if you're going to trade this for earnings, you got to look at, well, what's going on here that's different this time. That's real. I mean, I think it's important. It might not be what's going to make or break this earnings trade, but I do think it's very important. Price. Well, Todd says price is moving up. Okay, it is. It's moving up. Here it wasn't moving up. Here it kind of was moving up a little bit. Here it wasn't moving up. Here it kind of wasn't moving up. So that's a good observation, Todd. But I wouldn't say that's definitely not what I'm coming out with. But that's a good observation. Which DMA? What do you got there? Daily moving average? Man, I hope my computer monitor didn't just die. One of my monitors just went out. Okay, good. Got worried about that. Can't afford to lose a monitor. DMA is nice. Oh, 200? Okay. Well, you're kind of getting close now. So, Shark, you're still here, right? Again, I don't know because I don't think you answered me. Are you a technical guy? Like, do you look at moving averages? Do you look at charts? Are you a technical guy? Like, do you look at charts and moving averages? Do you know about those things? Do you care about those things? You say this quarter has lower lows compared to the rest of the earnings. Yes, you're getting very warm now. So all of these prior earnings events, the stock was well above or at or well above the 200-day moving average. That's this brown or orange line. You're getting better? Okay, yeah, no, listen, don't I'm not trying to like beat up on you. I'm just curious if you look at technicals. So here the stock was at the 200-day moving average. Here it was at the 200-day move. Here it was above the 200-day moving average. Here it was above the 200-day moving average. Here it was at the 200-day moving average or slightly below. So now we are decisively below the 200-day moving average and below the 50-day moving average. Now again, we got 8 days to go, so this could change. But not only that, what we've got here is let me highlight it for you so you can see it. What we've got here is what's called a death cross. That's where the 50-day moving average crosses down and through the 200-day moving average to the downside. So that is a big, big negative. That means that the shorter term traders, okay, are pushing with a lot of pressure against the longer term traders, let's say investors, and price is deteriorating. So this portends lower prices. So that's the biggest thing that again sticks out to me. Then yes, we just made a new lower swing. Well, I shouldn't say is it lower. It took it out by a hair. These two. So I'll draw the trend line for you. So we had a trend line here, which I guess you could say that held. Yeah, that held. But we have also a point of reference here from this gap. So with this cross, this could be what drives it this way. Okay, down. And then that would fill this gap we talked about over here. So if you're going to trade this for earnings, if you're a betting man, again, I don't know what's going to happen between now and the 8 days. This thing could have great news and it could be up here. So that could change. But if nothing else changes, I think you have a slightly better chance of it falling than going up. But that's just my opinion based on what I see. Again, charts are great until news comes out. So if they report decent earnings, but that things are looking better, or that, hey, maybe even another company, because now wait, this is a coffee company, right? I believe this is a coffee company. I believe this, yeah, Dutch Brothers Coffee. So this is a big coffee place with the drive-through, and this is, I don't know, I think it's like a glorified Dunkin' Donuts, maybe. Coffee prices are up, so their costs are up, right? For them to buy their coffee and sell it to the customer is gone up. Unless they're raising their prices for the coffee buyers, the patrons, they're eating losses just to stay in business. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I'm just talking to you, right? I'm not beating you up. I'm just trying to give you my thorough thought process on on how I would look at this for going into earnings. Because let me just Todd is my witness. And Arthur used to be with us. But here's the thing. So before I get into any type of trade, especially an earnings trade, and I do earnings trades a lot, I put it through so much that's why we don't have a million earnings trades. We don't take a million earnings trades because I put them through a lot of scrutiny so that we have winning. Don't have losing trades, right? I hate to say it. I shouldn't say that because now we're going to have a losing trade. But we have trouble trades at times. But Todd, we win on our earnings trades. Sooner or later, we win, and it's all because we very, very, very selective on our earnings trades. And then if it has to get managed, we manage it like pros until it's done. But nothing wrong with, hey, I'm glad your lady is bringing ideas to you because you can trade this if you want. I just wouldn't trade it to the long side. I wouldn't trade. I just wouldn't trade to the long side unless something changes on the chart between now and then. That's all. I mean, we are nursing a couple of bruises. I think we're nursing CMG from earnings. That's, I think, the only trade right now that's open from earnings. Right. That's the thing, Sharp. I wouldn't. Although, look, if they have a good business model, they could get bought out. So you never really know. The thing of it is, though, I wouldn't put a lot of money into it. This might be if you think it's got a great potential to get bought out by somebody one day. Who knows who that would be? I don't know. I don't think. I don't know who would buy them out, but they might. Who, you never know. But I mean, it just seems very expensive. $59 a share. I don't know I don't know their money. I don't know their revenues. I don't know what, I don't even know what they do. I know they're coffee related, but the chart doesn't look like it wants to go up. That's all. That's all. Or at least until it fills this gap. Maybe after this gap is filled and it starts to maybe figure itself out, this could be a long, but I don't think I'd go long this for earnings, but you could go, you could do a straddle where you buy a call and a put. And if it makes a big enough move either way, you could make money on that trade. If you're not sure, you want to go long, long, but meaning buy, you can buy a call, buy a put. And if it makes a big enough move, okay, that's a lot of money, $400 million. Sure. I mean, to be this price, $59, $60, and to have gone to 86, 88, sure, they must have some type of a viable operation going there, for sure. And if they're doing hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter, they got it going on, but how much are they making? That's the thing. The revenues are 400 million. How much does that if that turns into only 50 million profit or 10 million profit, who knows? Does that pay the bills and keep the company afloat? So that's part of the story, $400 million. It's not all of the story, but it's part of it. And that's a decent thing. Let's see here. I don't really want to get into looking into all this stuff, but I will quick, just real quick. Return on equity, 11%. Gross profit margins, 26%. Not bad. Debt, they got some debt. Quick ratio is not terrible. Earnings per share is 48 cents. Book value is $5 a share. PE ratio is 142. Price to cash flow is 33. Again, I'm not a fundamental specialist, but I know a little bit about numbers. 127 million outstanding. Net income, 162 million. So out of if they did 400 million, they kept about 162 million. Oh wait, current. Oh, that's price to earnings ratio. Yeah, okay. Earnings per share, 75. I guess it's not too bad. Earnings per share have been going up. This doesn't make sense then in the chart. That doesn't make sense. Should be doing better, it seems. Curious what's holding them back. But like any company that even has a turnaround, all it takes is one good quarter to set the ball in motion. So, I mean, the chart doesn't show it right now, though. The chart does not look like it wants to go higher. So for that reason, I would, if I really had to play this one, probably play it directionally into the downside. To answer your question, with some form of a put, either just a naked, buying a put or a put debit spread. Or you could sell a call credit spread. With this market, though, anything, if you sell calls, that usually goes against you. So, or at least that's what happens to me. So maybe buy a put. Do you do spreads? Do you know about spreads? So you buy a put debit spread? It's where you buy a put and then sell another put below it. Todd, did you see that move that Bloom Energy made in the after hours? BE. Okay, good, Shark. So here's Bloom Energy in the after hours. 136 right now. How retarded is that? So it's all the way up here. No, up here. Yeah, up here. It's crazy. Yeah, 4 times the expected move. Anybody that sold, naked calls at 2x, even at 2x, the expected move is going to have a problem tomorrow. Good, Shark. Yeah, if you know about spreads, that would be a good way to do it. Because, during earnings, one thing that I go over a lot in that video, that webinar, is that implied volatility is at its highest when you come into earnings. So if you buy a put, you're going to be spending a lot more than normal, because they've increased the implied volatility, which makes the value. So if you take a look at these numbers, what broker do you use, Shark, for trading? Because this is Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim gives you the implied volatility weekly, and here you can see this is the one that's for earnings, 119% implied volatility. That is super high compared to an average of about 70, 60 on any given week. So you're paying almost twice as much if you buy anything. Okay. So you'd want to sell something if you can. So if you buy one, sell one, they kind of offset each other. They're calling for a 10-point move. 10 points on $60. 16.6% expected move. So that's what they're looking for on this. 16% up or down. Gotcha. Okay, Tasty Trade's good. Tasty Trade was developed by the same team of experts that developed Thinkorswim, the TOS. Robinhood, never used it. I think I've heard from most people that it's good for beginning traders. Even TJ left there because it wasn't, TJ was doing a lot of different type of trading at that time in his life, so he was good with Robinhood. And then he wanted to branch out into more things like strangles and such stuff like that I do, and you really can't do that on Robinhood, from what I understand. So he went to Tasty. I told him to come to Schwab, but Tasty was where he landed, and he loves it. So it's a matter of where you really feel comfortable. But if you're familiar with Toss, that's good, because that's really, I would say, one of the best, if not the best. I don't know. I've never used Tasty. I know Tasty is good. I've seen it online and people using it, but I've never gotten a touch and feel for it. I'm sure I'd like it, but I do love Thinkorswim. I wish some of the things that Tasty Trade platform had was integrated into Thinkorswim, but they don't. But there's not going to happen. But Thinkorswim is good. It gives you the IV there. It gives you the IV rank and all that stuff, and you can know if you're paying stuff that's reasonably priced or expensive. Do you enjoy trading earnings though, Shark? Is that something you like? Do you get the adrenaline rush out of that? Something like that? You like taking those shots? Because we trade earnings. Every earnings season, right? We don't get. I don't know. Some guys might get the adrenaline rush. I got to admit, I like having an earnings trade on and watching, because it's kind of immediate. You don't have to wait 3 weeks or 2 weeks or a week to find out how am I going to do on this trade. You find out pretty quick, and that's the environment we live in as human creatures, right? We want it now, or we wanted it yesterday, right? So we get to know pretty quickly, hey, how'd this trade go? And so it's kind of fun. I do like that. It is fun, but we take the risk out of it, is what I'm trying to say. We might be adrenaline junkies because we like to do earnings trades, but we definitely remove as much risk as possible, so that when we put the trade on, we can rest knowing that we've got some exposure, some risk, but not like, a guy coming in with, $2,000 and putting it on a call or a put, or buying a strangle, or I'm going to straddle and hoping, I just need it to move now. I need it to move 20 points, 30 points. We don't trade like that. But I know I get an adrenaline rush, I guess you call it that, if the trade works out pretty quick. Do you are you working full time right now, Shark? We've got 3 more days of earnings trades this week. Maybe not on Friday, actually. We've got 2. We got tomorrow and Thursday. Shark, would you like to come and trade earnings with us for the rest of the week? You want to come into the trading room and trade them with us? So I wanted to look at too is biotechs for a second. Some biotechs. Sooner or later, the biotechs are going to wake back up. Myrna is down in the dumps. Myrna might not really ever recover, though. I think they may have been a one-trick pony. I mean, they make other drugs, but Myrna, Pfizer, J&J, J&J's been doing good. I know that's not necessarily just a drug company though, but J&J has this. What's that stock? What's that stock? It got obliterated like not long ago. It has an X in it. Not RX. I think it has an X in it. Arthur was in it. What's the name of that stock? It got beat up bad. What was the? Anyway, just biotechs in general. RX. I like this one. This one's been having a lot of unusual option activity. It just hasn't gone anywhere. Trying to think of other biotechs I know of, but there is the XHB. It's Home Builders. Oh, XBI, right? Biotech? Yeah, XBI. Now look at that. The biotech ETF is screaming. Up. Yet some of these names we just looked at in biotech are down. No, that's cool, Shark. No, that's fine. I'm gonna close it down. I just wanted to go over some charts. I'm gonna start doing more live YouTubes just to get out there and see if people want to talk about charts and stuff, and talk about what we do in the Discord. To be honest with you, we've got a great. Todd is one of my senior members now. Todd's been there for a while now, and Todd's a pretty damn good trader himself. And we just like to talk about charts, some of the strategies we talk about. Like tonight, we talked about bull because we're in bull. But what I was saying, well, you may have missed it, is it sounds like you like to trade earnings. We trade earnings every day that there's something that passes the test. You're welcome if you would like to come in tomorrow, for the rest of the week and trade earnings with us, you're welcome to. I'll send you a link. You can come in the room and see what we do and see how we make it work. And even if you have a job, you'll hear an alert go off, a ding go off when there's a trade. But this is a big week for earnings. We've got who do we have? We've got I can't remember anything anymore. I know we got big names coming up. We have got not Merck. We've got Meta, Microsoft, Google. Meta, Microsoft, Google. Etsy tomorrow morning. What did we do for? No, we didn't do anything. Google. Google. So we got Chipotle tomorrow afternoon, Todd. We got Chipotle tomorrow afternoon, Todd. Microsoft, Meta. We got Amazon. We got Coin. We got MicroStrategy, Roblox. Yeah, we got a lot coming up for the rest of this week. Yeah, I know. CMG they better kill it this time, Todd. That would be nice. I mean, that would be right. That'd be nice. That'd be a gift because right now it's teetering. Honestly, this thing is teetering. Right on trend line, man. And I'll tell you, I was never really a big CMG trader. I really never, and I don't eat there. I don't like, nothing wrong with them, but nothing wrong with them. I just never was, I don't know. I was never drawn to CMG, right? But I said, you know what? They don't go down. It's like, it doesn't go down, or at least it doesn't fall out of the bed. It always finds support. And then until we traded it, I traded it, and now it's fell out of bed, and it can't get back into bed. It just can't get back on its feet. So, I mean, it could go into the lower 30s, man. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope they come out with something good. I mean, it is like we have thousands of shares and we have 10 puts, but we got 200 shares, right? So definitely don't want to see this thing drop another 5 points. But we'll see. We will see. Yes, that came around really fast. Isn't it fast how fast? Isn't it crazy how fast 3 months goes by, Todd, right? With earnings. Like we traded this thing over here. I mean, it's nuts. Shark, I don't know if you're listening. Yeah, FOMC, right? That's right. Big tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Let's get that out of the way. Shark, if you're listening, here's my X handle, right? That's me on X. So if you want to come in and trade with us for a couple days on earnings, take a couple of trades with us, see if you like it. That's how you can reach me, okay? Text me if you want on X, and we'll get you in. We'll bring you in for a couple of days and see if you like it. We have a lot of fun. We definitely love earnings. As long as it passes the test, we'll do an earnings trade. We did UPS yesterday, and we did and that energy play today, B Energy, which is out of control in the after hours, but we're okay on the trade. We're not going to get hurt. We might not make anything, or we might not make as much as we were going to make, but we aren't going to get hurt. We can't lose. We're not going to lose on that trade. There's no hurt there. Even if it's up to $200 tomorrow, we can't get hurt. But we're not going to maybe make what we thought we were going to make. But that's trading, right? So the most important thing with trades is to protect yourself in case you're wrong, or in case there's an outsized move, and that's what we did. Yeah, sure. So reach out on Twitter, or reach out on Twitter. That would be the best way. And I can send you a link, and you come trade with us, me and Todd, and the gang for a couple of days. See if it's something you might like. Make some money. But yeah, earnings season comes around fast, man. So that's what's nice about having it 4 times. Now there is talk. Yeah, Jay, listen. There is talk, Todd, of them changing. Some companies want to not have to report every quarter, which would suck. There's talk that some company I don't know what the entity is that would change the ruling, but the ruling might change where they don't report quarterly earnings anymore, like every other quarter or maybe once a year, some kind of bullshit like that. So that would kind of suck. It would probably make for bigger moves in the stocks, but it would definitely not be something I'm looking forward to. I love the quarterly earnings. But with that, I'm going to get going. I got some things to do before I put my tired ass to bed. Yeah, semi-annual. Yeah, that wouldn't be too cool, man. I mean, it would cut in half what we do as far as the earnings, but at least they wouldn't take them away completely and only make it like once a year, that would suck. All right. A couple of people just popped in. Any last questions before we call it a night? Anybody? Anything you want to say? Any questions? Good night, Todd. See you in the morning, brother. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a good night. I hope the trading gods are good for you tomorrow. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Jim Trainer 41. It's posted right above there, Jim Trainer 41 at Twitter. Have a good night, everybody, and good luck in the markets. See you soon.